Hello, everybody. Okay, so we are going to now do our exciting writing lesson. So we normally do this on Monday. However, you are doing this on Tuesday. And we are going to be writing a recount of our fantastic sports day that we took part in last Wednesday. So what I'd like you to do, first of all, is pause the video here and maybe talk to someone else at home or just have a think to yourself about all the different things that you took part in on sports day. As soon as you're done, come back to me and press play again. Okay, so you will see in your pack, you've got different pictures that link to Sports Day. And you can see on my screen, it says SAC all the way around these pictures. You've also got these in your pack. And this is just purely because I can't write on the board. I've tried to set it up where I have the board and I can do the handwriting on it and it just isn't working. So I'm just going to have to change the words as we go around. So what we're going to do is think about each of the activities in turn and just think of some of the key words that might link to that. Now, obviously, you will have some of your own, but you might want to take some of mine that I include here. So this was the obstacle race, and we had to do some running in that obstacle race. So we had to run. You also, if I remember rightly, had to go through the ladder. You also had to jump in the sack. So I'm going to use jump there, and we've got a sack here. We had to carry a wooden spoon with an egg as well. So I'll put that up there, a wooden spoon and an egg. And we had to make sure that we balanced that. And we had a bean bag on our head too. Okay? You might think of an extra word to put in that final box, and if you do, then that is amazing. And this was called the obstacle course. Okay, so that was one of the activities. You might want to fill that information in on the sheets that you have got as well, because these will form a word bank for you when you're doing your recount. Okay, this is at the next picture. Now, these are not in order, and this is the point. You will put them in order before you write your recount. Okay, now everyone's order is going to be slightly different, but I would expect this one to be at the very end because this was our winning pictures. So the group that won, or the house team that won with the most points, was in fact St. Patrick's. Okay, so St. Patrick's house team was the winning team. They all wore green t-shirts, if you wanted to add that extra information in there. And there was a mixture of children from Key Stage 1. So different Year 1 and Year 2 children were all together playing as a team. We would have the word team over here. So let's have, I'm just going to copy and paste this over here. So the label for this picture will be St. Patrick's house team 1. That's what this section would be about. Let's take a look at the next picture. Oh yes, so this was for the sprint races, wasn't it? The children had to sprint down the lines. You had to stay in your own lane. And if you were the fastest, then you were able to win the race. You won the race for your team. You all scored some points. So the team who won the race got 4 points, and the team who came last of each race only got 1 point. And these were the sprint races. Okay, so they were the sprint races, so I'll put that down there. I do not expect you to go as fast as me. You need to pause the video and write down your notes as we go along. Obviously, it's slightly different now to the way we would be doing it in class, but I want you to have as much information as possible before you do your writing task. Okay, so this was, you can see Amelia there having a go, taking penalties. She was taking a penalty. It was a football shoot. That was the name of the activity. So there we've got football. We had to try and score the most points. If you scored the one in the middle hoop, you got 1 point. Did any of you score 1 point? The 2 bottom ones got you 2 points. I'm going to put 1 point in there as well. And if you got the top 2 ones at the right or left hand side, you actually got 3 points for scoring there. Okay. So I'm going to put top left. You might want to write about that. Or we're going to put top right. Again, you might want to write about that. And this was the football shoot. Okay. And then we have this one, which is actually where most of us started in year 2. These were the netball shoot activities. So we had netball shoot. We had to aim the ball so that it went through the net when we threw it. So past tense verb, not throw. When we threw the ball, you can see that one there. That netball looks like it's going to go in. I think that was Alfie. So well done, Alf. Okay, we had to work as a team and we earned some points. But this one, we had a timer. We were timed on this, so we had a couple of minutes on this activity before swapping over. So this was the netball shoot activity. Actually, in Andrews and Patrick's, we had some very, very good scorers. Okay, so that's our kind of build up to it. Those are the words that we might use. So hopefully you've written those down on your sheets, pausing in between. So I'll just show those again. We had the obstacle course. We had that St. Patrick's House team won. We had the sprint races. We had the football shoot. And we had a netball shoot. Now, this next page you've actually got in your pack. What I would like you to do is to choose one of the photographs that is there, cut it out, and then stick it at the top of the recount that you are going to write, just like we would normally do in our exciting writing books. And then we're going to do something called a box it up. So this is the kind of format that we're going to use for the recount. So what's going to be really good and useful with the video actually is that you can watch this first part of the video where I explain the first section, and then you can have a go at writing your first section after pausing it, and then play the next bit, pause it, play the next bit and pause it, and so on. Okay, and then you can write a really good recount, because next week when you come to school, you're going to have a go at it by yourself. So the first job for you to do is to order those obstacles and the netball shoot and all of those activities that you did into the correct order that you did last Wednesday. The next part we're going to do when we're writing a recount is we're going to be thinking about who, what, where, and when. So our first paragraph is called an all the W's paragraph. Okay, here is my example. We're going to be thinking who was doing something, what was actually happening, where it was happening, and when it was happening. So in my first opening paragraph, it's actually just one sentence in this example, you can see who is in it, what happens, where they were, and when. So last week, our class went to the field to take part in lots of extra PE activities because it was sports day. You might use that as your model for your shared piece. This is absolutely fine to use this model as you write yours because this is kind of your practice. Next week, you'll be writing your own recount. Our next paragraph then is going to start with before we. Okay, so before is something that has happened earlier, isn't it? So before we actually got out onto the field, what sort of things did we need to do? Well, this is my sentence. Before we went out, we had to put on our PE kits, but we put on a special coloured t-shirt. Our t-shirt matched our house team. Mine was green because I am in St. Patrick's house team. Okay, so I've used before we at the start of my second paragraph, and I'd like you to do the same. Tell me about the PE kits. It might be that you want to write that we all went to the toilet, or that we all had to remember our water bottles, or that we all had to get changed into our PE kit. But I did add that extra information about the coloured t-shirts because that's something that I wanted the reader to understand. Because a recount is a piece of text that is written to inform. So it's to tell somebody else about something that has happened. The next part I've actually left blank in my example because you are amazing at this already. So we have our sections where it's first, next, then, finally. Try and get a boy's sentence in there for me. I'd be really, really impressed. So for this paragraph, you're going to need to go back and use all of these different words and ideas to let me know what you did first, what you did next, what you did then, and what you did finally. Okay? We're also going to add another paragraph to say what I or what we thought. So it's up to you. You might talk about your team and say we, or you might just talk about yourself or write about yourself. So I've put, I really like the netball shoot because I got better each time I threw the ball. And you can see I've put another boy sentence in there. Okay? I've extended my ideas in there. And then at the final section, I want to know what you found the most interesting or what the main points were. So the first word in your final paragraph is going to be overall. Overall, I had a very enjoyable day. I've used an exclamation mark in there. My team played well, and even though we didn't win, I enjoyed playing games with my friends. And it was certainly a very enjoyable day. So, plenty for you to get on with there to make a really, really good quality piece of writing. And I promise you that the other English activities that are coming for the rest of the week are a little bit easier than this one. If you need to spend a couple of days doing it or different sessions doing it, then take your time and please do that. Any questions, then just ask your grown-ups to phone school and I'll be able to help. See you in the next video. Bye.